What's your food here, Dennis?
Oh, 1 2 testing.
Tuesday we'll get one car.
Oh, okay, doing commentary, so you gotta keep your front four boots, and the others are behind. Nothing to really talk about at the moment in terms of position is because the race is some 6 minutes into being at the moment. But we are looking at the beautiful spectacle of the Four Seasons Run Hotel, a fabulous edifice, one that has done great things for getting the name of Anguilla across, and not a very large crowd today, but the spirit is still there. The guys who follow boat racing and the actual fans, they're all out, and we are looking for quite a race, much more intriguing, we hope, than the two previous races where you got away and you were gone, and there was little to discuss along the way. Once the captain puts us in position, we are going to give you all, or rather, I'm going to give you the positions. Not a lusty day at sea in terms of the wind. A few caps off the Four Seasons Hotel. And if we are going to judge by the performance of the small boats, we are in for quite a race, quite a race today. It's you. I know we will be expecting the positions because the fans are sure will want to know where their boat is, and we are very grateful to Hazel, who is actually covering this race, who has covered previous races, and who has done a fantastic job in terms of servicing the people who listen to the racing. So outside Four Seasons now, just west of Four Seasons, 1 2 3 4 5 6 boats, and as a matter of fact, we're looking at the count now. The count is actually 8. So the Justice and the Light and Peace behind, just inside them would be the Speed and Comfort. Then we have just in front the Speed and Comfort, we have the Wizards, and then that blue Sonic. So they are the back five. So the front three will be the Justice, the Real Deal, and another one we are going to really find out who that is in a while. But certainly looking across west of Four Seasons, the fantastic palm trees, the restaurants, the beautiful white sand of Anguilla. Someone described this area as actually a swimming pool. So just was admonishing Captain Joe. He can go ahead talking, but not that loud. Okay, so right inside from us, the So now we are getting it right. The boat that appeared to be the Sonic is actually the real deal. So out front, because we are a little distance away from the race, out front look like in the second position is the Sonic. I can't confirm at the moment. The Satellite is in third place running down, where I can be sure of that. And okay, the Sonic is out to the north. So we are very sure about that now. The Sonic is the in the front to the north. The Satellite is out front on the southern side, and the real deal it is in fourth place at the moment, with the Wizard in fifth place, and Speed and Comfort sixth, the Light and Peace 7, and the Justice 8. So that's really the positioning at the moment on a bright and sunny day. A couple of white clouds in the air, but excellent for boat racing. The wind is blowing quite nicely and is refreshing over here. As a matter of fact, we have quite a number of small craft on the water today, much more than we have seen in the two previous races, and that tells us that boat racing is certainly alive on Anguilla. And when we look at the crews and the captains, certainly I can assure you that boat racing is alive, is because there are many youngsters involved and many young captains who are doing very well, apart from the Sonic and the real deal, those seasoned captains. All of the others are young men raring to go, raring to take over the mantle of their senior guys. Two fantastic days of racing before. In terms of being out on the sea, there were long drags in most of the case. In the first race, from the time you went around the stake, you had one drag straight into the Crocus Bay area before tacking across in sandy ground. But today it appears to be a bit different. We are down on the first leg. I'm saying that is because they practiced in recent times, and if we are going to follow what happened in the small boats race, now in the B class race, there were two downs, or the race was up and down. So we are suspecting that this might be the case also in this race, but we are going to be able to confirm that when the person who is controlling the stake actually drops the stake. Certainly we have Super Captain. I think he is running the stake boat. He has been doing the services all along, doing the services fairly well, but with that element of significant bias and being up front all the time and not looking at the race in totality or in a holistic manner. But anyway, you find these things happening, but there has not been significant need for that, is because there has been little mishap, some mishaps yesterday, and in the first day you had situations where a boat will sail not around the stake and nobody from the managing committee knowing about it. But here we are today, still continuing with boat racing despite the coronavirus pandemic. You know that boat racing is a natural part of the Anguillan life, is because with all that happening, even though in Anguilla the cases of coronavirus are low, certainly the boat racing people want to come out and do boat racing, and the boat racing fans, they want to hear really what's taking place. So you are home and you are listening to us. We, as the captain gets nearer to the activity, because we are still a little way from the front of the races, so I cannot be that accurate at the moment. I can give you a bird's eye view because we're at a distance. So we are going to get the captain to get us closer, and as he gets us closer, we will be able to give you a more realistic position. We are coming towards the foot of the land at the moment. The boats are going down rather quickly, and you have a fantastic spectacle that's seen today. Not only the racing boats, but the accompanying boats. They are out in their full numbers today, and so the real deal and the Sonic, they are on the northern end. The satellite is just inside them. There is a whitish green boat just inside. We cannot pick up the markings on it. The Wizard is in 5th place. The Speed and Comfort is in 6th place, and behind would be Light and the Peace and the Justice. Anything like a quarter mile between the two back boats and the four front boats. It's a little difficult to call the front runners at the moment. It's either the boat on the southern end or the Sonic. So, but there is not much difference between the four front boats, and about 10 boat lengths between them and the Wizard, and about 15 boat lengths between the Wizard and the Speed and Comfort, and anything like 30-35 boat lengths between the Speed and Comfort and the two back boats. But a strong southeasterly breeze, it looks like, is actually blowing, and that is resulting in the boat sailing towards the west, or running towards the west quite strongly. At the moment, we see the stake boat way out in front at the moment, so we'll be seeing some reasoning regard positioning of the first marker in a while. So I'm going to get clarity on both on the southern end at the moment, is because that appears, based on where the stake is, to be the leading boat, and alongside that towards the northern end would be the Sonic. So the call can be for either of them at the moment, but just behind, fractionally behind, would be the Real Deal and North Hill Partner, the Satellite. The Real Deal, a bit of misfortune yesterday, breakdown while actually leading the race, and that was yesterday. That was on Tuesday, and the North Hill Partner also suffering some sort of disaster, actually hitting a reef in the island harbor. So August, Thursday at West End. This is something that has been going on from virtually I've been a little boy, so it's a long time in going. And if you do not know what boat racing looks like, you should try and get out on the sea and have a good look at it. It's something that's different. It's not like the America's Cup. It's a unique art, a unique type of boat with an open deck, and certainly, and we are actually going towards the west, right on the edge of the western end of Anguilla. Okay. Anyway, so we're listening to a conversation regarding boat racing in the back by some of the pundits, Captain Joe and some others here. Very, very interesting information, bringing back to life a former chief minister and his involvement in boat racing. So we are getting close now. The front of the action. I'm going to. Who's the white? Okay, now Leonard has actually confirmed to me the Bush Boys. They are right up front in the race. The Bush Boys and the Sonic up front, and not too far behind them. Just maybe anything like 10 or so boat lengths. if so much, would be the real deal and the satellite, and then just in the back would be the wizard. The wizard, yellow at the top, gray at the sides, and the wizard marked between the two extremes. The real deal, white at the top, blue in the middle, and real deal marked in the midst. So is the Sonic. The Sonic red at the top, blue in the middle, and the white word Sonic in the middle, and the Bush Boys white in the middle, adorned with some roses or something of that looks in the middle. So right now we are actually uniquely positioned to talk about it. Right up front would be the Bush Boys and the the Sonic, and just behind, as I've said to you, would be the Satellite and the Real Deal, followed by the Wizard, and the other three in the back. We will have the Justice right to the back, then Light and Peace, and just up front of them would be the Speed and the Comfort. So we are outside the western extremity of Anguilla, actually west of Little Anguilla. You know, we have a restriction now that you cannot go on the southern side of the island, so all of the racing must take place on the northern side of the island. So we are sailing down towards Dog Island, and we won't certainly reach that far, but if you look towards the land, there's a fantastic dome which the erosion of the western side is showing on the Anguilla mainland. And looking at the clouds over St. Martin, the St. Martin Mountains actually looming with a bit of haze facing us. And right now the Bush Boys are outside in front of the Sonic. So at this point in time, the Bush Boys are out front, followed by the Sonic, followed by the Satellite, the Real Deal, and the Wizard. There is not much space between them, maybe 15 boat lengths separating the first and the fifth boat, and they're all moving straight towards the west, towards the open waters of the west. The white, strong cumulus clouds on the left of us. That's west. That's west of St. Martin. So we are now in open water on Anguilla Day, covering the Meads Bay race, the August Thursday race, and we have aboard the Rose, the Primrose, captained by Captain Robert. We are actually on a pleasure cruise turned official because we are carrying the Hazel's coverage of the racing. He's doing the coverage by camera, and of course I am covering the commentary. Let me say hello to my partner, Mr. Poole, who's ashore. You can't be out. I know the position as far as you're concerned. I've been forced into community service, and actually I'm doing the service for you and myself. So do not be too worried about it. I'll adequately represent you. I sincerely hope so. Right now in a virtual cluster would be the Bush Boys, the Sonic, the Satellite, and outside to the north would be the Real Deal, closely followed by the Wizard, and there's coming together closer of the three boats behind. Right in the back we have the Light and the Peace and the Justice, and just in front of them we have the Speed and the Comfort. So not a great deal of wind, but it's not all that light also. And certainly there are a lot of pundits here on this boat, and you can hear the comments that would be would be streamed at the moment. Where is the wind from?
Wind?
Yeah, southeast.
Can't call the wind like this.
Okay, I was trying. Okay, I'm calling it right then. The wind is from the southeast, and enough to keep the boats going. A little drop since we started. The we are looking for the position of the. Oh yes, we have about a half mile there about in front of us. The first. Oh no, we are right onto the first marker, and about a half a mile away, we certainly can see we can see the stake boat. So passing the first marker first, the Bush boys. Oh yeah. So let me make so I'm covering it right. So to the southwest of the first marker, we can see we can see the okay, we have a party on here, so you might hear one or two expletives. It's all in good spirit now. So the Bush boys going around first, followed by the Sonic. Then we have the satellite, the Wizard. Then the real deal. So the first marker, the first five boats have actually gone across. In another minute or so, you will find the actual speed and comfort actually coming across it, and then they bring up the other two in the back. So up front, the Bush boys going towards the stake, and in fifth place you have the real deal. So in between you will have the Wizard, the Satellite, and the Sonic. So looking towards west of say St. Martin, we can see the spectacle of these five boats actually. Okay, where I am confirmed by Frankie. Okay, so our first stack, according to Frankie, will be back into the south. So we have drifted a little way away from the action, but it's the from the positioning. It looks like the Sonic could very well be the boats that's edging, that appears to be going around the stake first, but out front, marginally out front at the moment would be the Bush boys, and the Bush boys, the Sonic, the Satellite, the Wizard, and the real deal. And coming fairly quickly behind is the Speed and Comfort, the Light and Peace, and the Justice. So Anguilla Day 2021 boat racing from Meads Bay, covered by quite a lot of sponsors, and Cardigan quite happy that they're all in support of the continuation of boat race. Today is West End's chance to carry out boat race, and certainly an August season is not complete without boat racing at Meads Bay. And if you would have listened over the years, there are all sorts of songs telling you about the significance of boat racing at Meads Bay during the August season. So looking up towards the southeast now, we can see the St. Martin mountain range, the lower to the eastern end, and certainly it appears that it's going to be the Bush boys that will go around the stake first. Yeah, let's see it. Yes, the Bush boys are going around first. A couple of seconds in front of the front captain Eddie in the Sonic, and not far. Captain Eddie is hugging the stake and coming up, coming right up over the Bush Boys, while the Bush Boys going in the south. In the south, certainly Captain Eddie hugged and is heading towards the southeast. Is already way over the Bush Boys, and right now the satellite is going around, and the same as Captain Eddie is the wizard hugging the stake very closely, and the real deal now is coming in the same fashion of the Sonic and the wizard. So the first five boats, maybe a minute around the stake. So fellas, remember we're doing commentary though, you know. Okay. So we are having everybody shouting around here. So if you're hearing anything funny, it's all based on the excitement. Okay, so the wizard has broken it up at the moment, and she's coming towards the northeast at the moment, and here goes around the speed and comfort, and maybe a minute and a half behind is the last boat. So 6 boats are around the stake on the first leg, and there goes the wizard. So the satellite also, and so out going towards St. Martin in the southeast would be Captain Eddie, would be the Bush Boys, and would be the real deal. But here is the wizard. The wizard is heading back to where she belonged, towards Mains Bay, and she is virtually flying at the moment. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when those boats from the south will come back. So the last boat coming around in the 8 racing today is the Light in Peace. Oh yeah, the Light in Peace is coming around now. Just before her would have been the Justice. So all of the boats are around the first stake. So you're hearing all sorts of technical commentary at the moment, but certainly the wind now is much stronger than when we were coming down a while ago. So you're going to see quite a lot of sailing in. The wizard is according to the fellas gone towards the northeast at the moment. All the other boats still going towards St. Martin is going to be, according to the good old Anglo phrase, is going to the hell to tell the priest as far as the wizard will be concerned, because that tack breaking it early on is moving very instrumental at the moment. Is so Eddie, according to what we are seeing, the Eddie has pushed it, but one knows that the Sonic will not much hard driver, the real deal. But we are looking at the wizard sailing on home towards the northeast. are still in the back, and we have the satellite has dropped some ground at the moment, and so the Wizard going into the land towards the foot of West End, the Sonic up front at the moment, and alongside her, but on the outside is actually the real deal, so we are looking at the Bush Boys, and it looks like third place at the moment. The satellite is actually coming up out of fifth place and look like will overtake the Wizard at the moment. So the front five are the same front five as coming down. So you probably could hear Captain Joe in the back saying, if the real deal can't win it, he wants the Bush Boys to win it. But the Bush Boys sailing extremely well. They're a bunch of youngsters, and I think we need more of this sort of activity to get our society to where it is. And they seem so comfortable out on sea, and they are very intelligent, it appears, when it comes to motor racing and holding their own thus far in the race. They have held their own throughout the racing, the very short racing season anyway. So you have the two virtually arch enemies, if you could consider it that. On the outside is the real deal, and on the inside is the Sonic. One of the things you will notice today is that there is no getting away of the front boat in terms of today's race as compared to the other two races. The satellite on the outside is actually holding her own very well, following the real deal. And on the inside of the satellite we have the Wizard, and up ahead of the Wizard towards the land would be the Bush Boys. So we are coming up towards the western tip of West End, the inside western tip, La Blaleham area, and when you're out on these boats you hear quite a lot of history about boat racing, and a person I'm hearing name called quite a lot here today is Captain Percy, one who would have dominated boat racing as a captain for many years, one who has come from a long range of family members who have been captains, brothers, nephews, and they virtually, in terms of a family lineage, have dominated the boat racing scene on Anguilla over the many years, and certainly the satellite is actually catching up on the real deal. So okay, there goes one of the supercrafts on the water. So Anguilla, August, Thursday at West End, Boat Racing 2021, and we are up to now treated with some very good racing. So we are going right now. There is a little slowing up front. It appears Captain Eddie started again. But the five boats that I've been speaking about from earlier on, they are all still within very close range. And something you're going to have to remember, I've been told that the race is actually a two-tiered race. Come down once, go up and come back down, and then the finishing line. Up to our northeast, I can see the beauty of the western end of the island. That is the Meads Bay, Long Bay area. So, so you are hearing quite a bit of talk as far as the boat is concerned, is because we have quite a crew here aboard, and all of them are very versed in boat racing. So sometimes I can hush up and probably allow them to come through, is because you'll be getting personal opinions on each of the activities of the boats out there, because each person seems to be siding with a different so the Sonic up front, it appears to be the Bush Boys second, the Real Deal third, the Wizard fourth, and the satellite now tacking in towards the land, according to the pundits here, and an ill-advised tack is because these others seem to be getting away a bit at the moment, and you're hearing the cries from aboard here up the wind, Charlie. You know what that means? That is the real deal. Now, actually, I have my partner with talking about showing off clothes, but anyway, the clothes are the same color as far as we are concerned. So a very, very tight race, and Eddie out front. The jump there has been very, very good, but the thing of it is that Eddie will have to come out at some point in time. But how well the Bush Boys are sailing, they are outside Captain Eddie, but looking from this point, they are virtually out sailing him, despite he's up quite a bit up on them. Bush Boys in second at the moment. Charlie is coming towards the Bush Boys at the moment, and then just somewhere in front of us here we have the Wizard. The Wizard, and then in the back we have the other four boats. The satellite actually has joined the four in the back because of possibly the attack that was made a while ago. So everybody is coming out now from the land, it appears. So how well is the Bush Boy sailing? The Bush Boy is fantastic at the moment, sailing exceedingly well. We are going to wait to see what happens, because there's no need for tacking at the moment, it appears, because the direction of the wind, they are sailing straight towards the Malahana point, or just outside the Malahana point. The satellite coming back into it at the moment. So we want to say hello to all of you who are listening to August Thursday boat race from Meads Bay. Among the sponsors are Tropical, the Palms Haven, the Tourist Board, the Youth and Culture, the free services of the Anguilla Police Force, and looking at them work today. We hear quite a lot of criticism about the police, but I can assure you they were very smart. They were on the ball today. The officers were out working. I think if we are going to be honest, we can do nothing but give them highest praise. That's what we require from our this might be something that we cannot make up for. So it's Bush boys doing good. Those are the words of Dennis aboard here. So everybody here would have their own choice of boats, and yeah, they are very vociferous about it, and so the Bush boys now seem to be somewhat lining up Captain Eddie. Captain Eddie is not getting away from him as such, and the Wizard is certainly coming back into it at the moment, even though on the outside and somewhere in fifth place is actually the satellite. So the Wizard nearest us to the north inside is the Real Deal. Up front of the Wizard would be the Bush boys, and on the inside of the Bush boys would be Captain Eddie and the Sonic. So certainly this is a day when the other boats are making Captain Eddie work for his money today. So we can now see the Meads Bay area, the Malahana. We can see the Karimas, and they actually where the race started. Four Seasons is just straight ahead to the east of us, and so certainly we are enjoying a good look at some of the tourism properties on the island. Good old Malahana from the beginning, still looming as a beacon towards our northeast, and somewhere in the distance where we can see good old Crocus Bay, Pelican Bay, and even Little Bay. We can see the general framework of it here as we come towards the northeast, and if you're an Anguillian, certainly you would want to follow boat racing, is because it's one of our traditions. It's how our ancestry actually make ends meet, going to Santo Domingo, coming back racing, and how that has gone into the DNA of all Anguillians is because if we are talking 150 years ago, or 100 years ago, and now 5 generations on, the youngsters are still steeped into it. Imagine how deep it has gone into the blood, into the DNA of Anguillians. So here goes the Real Deal at the moment. See, we are looking at the forefront boats at the moment. The Wizard, the Real Deal, the Sonic, and the Bush boys. How well the youngsters and the Bush boys they are sailing. Okay, so the Bush boys still, as some people will say, is in the dance at the moment. The boat that you're seeing from ashore on the northern end is actually the Wizard. The other 3 are on the inside. The Bush boys going towards the north, the Real Deal coming up behind the Sonic. So the Sonic has so far won on the 2 days of racing in this COVID season. So they are well ahead in this restricted August season. Okay, the Bush boys going towards the north. One would certainly want to question the wisdom of that. Here goes the Real Deal into the land at the moment. So that's an interest. The boat was getting a knock at the moment, so so they so they are going into into the south, and the Bush boys coming back to the Sonic. Eddie is now Captain Eddie is going into the land again. So the very technical sailing at the moment. Eddie keeping the Sonic, keeping the Bush Boys in check. The Bush Boys losing a bit of ground there is because they have not gotten the boat started as yet, and that is not good sailing because losing time on the tack is dangerous. The oh boy, certainly it's the speed and comforters come back into it, not too far away from the real deal at the moment. You are seeing all of the inner craft going towards the land at the moment. So so here 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 is the speed and comfort. Let's be certain. Yeah, we have it right. The speed and the comfort has made up quite a bit of ground here at the moment, and may very well be in fourth place or third. So yes, the speed and comfort they are in fourth place. We'll have to wait to see what happens. Okay, the Wizard gone way into the north. Look like it's coming back towards us. It's amazing how people in other craft could talk the race. They are virtually saying to the captains, you do this, you do that, and the captains just can't hear. Sometimes it matches, but sometimes it doesn't. So let's wait and see what happens, because a lot of the comments you hear are based on the personal bias of those people who support a particular position, a particular boat. So the speed and comfort has come out. The speed and comfort has come out of nowhere to be in the first four at the moment. So the Sonic followed by the Bush Boys, and then up to now it appears the real deal, and then the speed and the comfort. The Wizard is coming out of the north. We are just west of the Four Seasons Hotel in the Mangoes area at the moment. Hey, we on the air. Okay. Yeah. That's the excitement of Captain Joe in calling the race from aboard. These guys are all fantastic followers of boat racing, and they know what it is to be out there. So they are certainly willing the boats along. So looks like the Bush boys getting a bit of trouble at the moment is because the real deal has come out of the northwest and is sailing quite well. So the Wizard is back in fourth place, and the Speed and Comfort now is in fifth place. So it's the Sonic up front, followed by it looks now like the Real Deal could very well be in third place, the Bush Boys in fourth place, the Wizard in fifth place. On the outside is the Speed and Comfort. So if you're sure and you're following the coverage, you look, you're going to see these five boats in front. I call them for you. Going into the north at the moment, way down is the Satellite. So we are. So we are now saying quite easily that the Sonic is in up front. As a matter of fact, they have slackened up everything on the Real Deal and doing some work. Something is wrong. We have to wait and see what it is. So, but in the meantime, the Sonic is actually out front sailing. So at the moment, the Bush Boys following the Sonic and everything on the Real Deal is slacking up. So there must be a problem there. So we are going to have to wait and hear what that is. So up front it's Captain Eddie and the Bush Boys at the moment up front. Some repair work is actually taking place on the Real Deal. Okay. So is more than likely the Real Deal might very well be out of this race, because we are seeing the jib is being wrapped up. So something has gone wrong. So with the Real Deal apparently is out of the races, because we can see some work being done on the jib, and coming up on the outside is the Satellite. So the Real Deal will have to be taken ashore yet again in the 2021 August season races. So they are also the pundits here are saying that that is something that went wrong with. Okay, so very interesting. That's the way fate works. So we are going to concentrate on up front at the moment, which will be Captain Eddie and the Bush Boys, and then we find Wizard, the Speed and the Comfort, and the Satellite. They are the next in the boats in terms of the actual racing. So okay, so back towards the activity here. So okay, so the Satellite has drawn in terms of the Speed and Comfort. So the Satellite is now in fifth place. The West End boat in terms of the Wizard is now in third place, the Speed and Comfort in fourth place, and the Satellite is in fifth place. So that's the status of of the racing at the moment. So Captain Eddie up in front in the Sonic. So the Sonic seemed to be rounding up to turn virtually towards the west in a while, followed by the Bush Boys, the Wizard, and of course the Speed and the Comfort and the Satellite. So so the very interesting thing is that the person super captain who is running the boat race is up front by the leading boat. A boat has been in trouble, and you can find him anywhere. That is not professionalism. You're going to have to do what you're responsible for. Your job is to look at the stake. Your job is to look at what happens on sea, and certainly you are going to have to be in charge of what's taking place. We have not seen that through these three races thus far this season, because here is the real deal, or here's a craft in trouble, and the person who is responsible for looking at the race is nowhere to be found. So the front five boats, we will call them, in fifth place would be the Satellite, the Speed and Comfort, the Wizard, the Bush Boys, and the Sonic. The Sonic is actually on its way down again. Certainly this is going to be very interesting. So it's going to be very difficult to catch the Sonic unless something goes wrong, which we sincerely hope will not be the case. Okay. So right in front of the Four Seasons we are at the moment with the main building with the Sonic actually coming towards the west, the Satellite going towards the north to round up and complete the first leg. So the Bush Boys will follow the Sonic, which will be followed by the Wizard, and followed by the Speed and Comfort, and followed by the Satellite. The other three are somewhere in the back at the moment, and the real deal, yet on another occasion, is out of the finishing. One of the craft on the sea would have gone to have given assistance, and with a race taking place on Sunday, you certainly do not know what the rules are, but everybody would want to be ready to take part in that race. So you're hearing hardly, but that's not the case, is because the Speed and Comfort has drawn for the Satellite, just as the Satellite would have drawn for the Speed and Comfort earlier on. So the Speed and Comfort coming quite strongly into the south at the moment, but the Satellite can't get started. Before the Satellite got started, the Speed and Comfort had him rolled out. So in goes the Wizard at the moment towards the beautiful beach just east of the Four Seasons Hotel, right into the Straw Hat Ocean Echo Frangipani area. So it will be quite an opening up of this race, because Captain Eddie is So all four boats, second, third, fourth, and fifth, they are into the beautiful beach just west of the Straw Hat and Oceanaco area, and they're going to make their way up towards the starting point to continue the second round of racing. So we are now actually 17 minutes to 5 o'clock by my watch. So it's going to be interesting. Captain Eddie now will look like he's turned to the west here because we're at a distance away. Then the Bush Boys is coming up towards the starting point. Behind them would be the Wizard, and behind the Wizard would be the Speed and Comfort and the Satellite. So there's the Satellite and the Speed and Comfort. They have both come back at the moment, and they are going towards the starting point. Once they reach there, they will be responsible for going down for a second time. So you can see the crowd, or the small crowd on the shore, admiring what would have taken place. And certainly, if you are not seeing the real deal, the problem is that the real deal, somebody here saying that there is the white flag, is because they're broken down yet again. So everybody on the boat is comfortable, so nothing has to, you do not have to worry about the safety of your people on board. They are all well and fine. There is something wrong with the boat, but there is nothing wrong with the sailors, other than they would have loved to be in the race still. So the Sonic, the Sonic would be on its way down, and that would be so we will await to it's very interesting what's happening here. Is the Sonic, it's the Bush Boys, the Wizard, and the Satellite, and the Speed and Comfort, and they are, the two leading boats are just in front the main building of Malahana, and somewhere a bit of distance behind we have the western boat in the, not the Light and Peace, the Wizard, and the Satellite, and the Speed and Comfort. The Speed and Comfort and the Satellite, they are continually changing positions, drawing for each other, not starting quickly enough, and actually outsailing each other before started. So there's a ding-dong battle going behind them, and there is still a bit of distance to go to actually cover the first leg. We can see the Sonic now. Certainly we can see this Sonic heading towards us at the moment of going across the Meads Bay beach, just in front of the notable tamarind tree at Meads Bay, past Leon's, and coming towards Caramar, and that is signaling more than likely she is at the starting point and ready to go back down the road. So we are talking 13 minutes before 5 o'clock. So another hour and 15 minutes of racing. thereabout. So, yep, and speed and comfort. A black jib sponsored by Caramar, white sail, green top, white in the middle, green to the back, and white over the rudder area, and the most of the sailors inside carrying green shirts. So the Sonic back towards the west at the moment, and there is quite a distance between the Sonic now and the Bush Boys. So far they are doing 2 minutes in front the Bush Boys. Maybe the position at the stake with the Bush Boys turning west could be 4 or so minutes. So they are on a joyride at the moment. Nothing to worry them. Just keep going, and somewhere in the back you're going to have the Bush Boys. It's like the Wizard is going to be turning back to the south in a while. So will be the Satellite, and following them would be the Speed, and the Comfort. So okay, here it is. The Bush Boys are getting towards the west now. We're talking about a 3 minute difference between the Bush Boys and the Captain Eddie. 2.5, 3 minutes somewhere in that region, and the Wizard would be somewhere about 4 minutes in the back, if that much. So the three front runners at the moment, the Sonic, the Bush Boys, and the Wizard. So the other two would be the Satellite and the Speed and Comfort. They are in front of the Malahana main building, and they will be turning towards the south in a while. As a matter of fact, the Satellite is turned towards the south, and the Speed and Comfort is somewhere behind. So they are going for us, the Bush Boys. Fantastically colored craft, the purple in the back, white to the sides with black writing, and they are sponsored by Michael Davis. That is written actually in the mainsail, two big M's and Michael Davis on each of the M's. So the distance, as I said, between the two boats, the two leading boats, is something like 2.5 minutes, and the third boat, maybe we were talking 3.5 or thereabout minutes. So three boats heading back down at the moment. The real deal would have broken down. The real deal is out of the race, and the others are still coming at the moment. One will want to one would want to make a determination as to whether the last three boats will go down on the second leg. But we have the third boat now actually going west in the Wizard, and in a while we are going to be having the Satellite coming behind. So coming towards us now would be, that appears to be the Light and Peace. So Light and Peace and Justice, they will be the two other boats that will be coming from behind at the moment. So the sun is covered by somewhat of a cloud at the moment, so it's much cooler. Somewhat cooler at the moment, and still a very bright day in the shore. The ripples are are quite gentle, not as it will be out to sea where the wind has been certainly stronger on this August Thursday. And there's a certain element of pride regarding the August Thursday boat race at West End. It's not really a West End feature, it's an Anguilla feature. It's because this has been an integral part of the boat racing season. You can't have a boat racing season, an August boat racing season, without the Maids Bay boat race. And the folk from West End would have gone out, would have covered every base to ensure that this race would have taken place. And I earlier I earlier mentioned the sponsors. There are about 5 or 6 sponsors. Among them we have the Tropical, we have Parts Haven, we have the Anguilla Tourist Board, we have the Department of Youth and Culture, and not forgetting the services of the Royal Anguilla Police Force, which Cardi reminded me they are provided freely. And it's nice to see when you're providing free services, you work so diligently. It's because the policemen at Maids Bay today appeared smart. They kept control over the area. They made their regular checks. They kept a look on, and that was fantastic. So it's always important to have the races, but you don't have the races if you don't have the sponsors. And in difficult times like these, the sponsors are ultra important. I want to take a moment out and say hello to my colleagues at Crocus Bay. You can't see much of the racing from Crocus Bay down here. And it's another interesting day of racing. Not the pomp and the pride of the real fantastic August day. August Thursday, we know of the pandemic, we know of the coronavirus activity, we know of the fears, we know about the unfortunate incidents and the fears that would be associated with it. But this area of Anguilla has been so beautiful. The sea actually looks like a big swimming pond. The water is translucent. The water is just fantastic here, and the actual colors, the sea, the sky, the architecture, they all match up to make this area fantastic scenery for boat racing. And Captain Robert has now turned it towards the west so that we can have a look and tell you really what's happening up front. But for sure, without even seeing it, I can say that Captain Eddie is up front, followed by the Bush Boys, followed by the Wizard, and then the somewhere behind we are going to find the Satellite and the Speed and the Comfort, with the Justice and the Light and Peace way back. Boat racing is a natural part of the culture of our islands, and I'm sure when the masters of boat racing in the world will see our typecraft, they will marvel how you can keep something like this afloat without a deck, just sail on a jib and a mainsail, and they carrying such a large crew. There are some of my colleagues who argue strongly the masts are too long or too tall, the boom is too large, and there are all sorts of stories, but that is part in coming towards perfection in our art form. As time goes by, I'm certain the youngsters coming into the racing will make certain changes. Don't rule that out. We have closely followed what our forefathers would have done, but I can assure you that the younger generation, with all their imaginations, with all their technical foresight, they are going to call some significant changes with time. But for now, we are going to go ahead and enjoy what is what is being offered. And up front of us is Captain Eddie and the Sonic, and more than likely a joyous crew. This is the third race in this very restricted August season that certainly he will be winning. And when August comes alive, boat racing comes alive. And there are certain people in this island who live for boat racing, and one would want to hope that the persons who are organizing it will take a stronger step in doing certain things to make it even a better sport that one would expect it to be. Sometimes we just wait until the last minute to call certain things. We want to come up with a strategic plan for boat racing. We want to come up with an annual plan. We want to incorporate our small boats, our B-class boats. We want to look at the A-class boat, and maybe we might want to even take on the smaller type craft, maybe a one person boat, a two-person boat. There are a lot of little changes we can make. Is because people in Anguilla are into boat racing at the moment. We can't say any longer that boat racing is a male sport. We look anxiously forward when we are going to find one of the fairer sex captaining a boat. We are now finding quite a lot of young men actually taking over the captain's roles. I'm certain that there are young ladies who are anxious to see, look, we are ready to do it. You're hearing the talk in the boat about a lot of distance, maybe a 3 or so minute distance between the boats, and based on the running of the Sonic, by the time we reach down, it might be even a wider margin. So August Thursday, Meads Bay 2021, and we are following boat racing from West End. Not the size, not the size crowd that we always have, but then we must remember it's COVID-19, the fears associated with that. You won't find a lot of people who actually would come out, being out at the moment. And so we are seeing the boat responsible for the flag out front of us. I do not know if the distance, if the lower flag will be changed at the moment. So it seems like more than likely we will await to see what it is, but the stake boat is in the area, and there might be certainly some sort of activity in the mic. So that's Captain Joe there saying I was accurate in making a prediction, but you know the excitement that can come about sometimes when you hear talk out here at sea. So okay. So Captain Eddie lightened up a while ago. He has such a distance that he can cruise at the moment. Okay. Somebody warned that there are cameras here, and that is what's actually taking place. So here goes another bag of white Anguilla sand being being tossed out, SONIC, and the flame in the back on the right side of the Sonic with Captain Eddie his bright vest as we go towards the west. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, in excess of 16 people aboard the Sonic at the moment. So the Bush boys are considerable way behind it. And when it was checked at the shore, we were talking 2.5 to 3 minutes, and certainly you know it. When you're going to the west, you just lighten up, and you lighten up. You're going to go to the west much faster. So there is the considerable distance between the Bush boys and the Sonic. As the Sonic sails majestically towards the west, we are looking at some villas on the western end of Anguilla, just over Blenheim, and the villas very near the sea have a fantastic view of Anguilla's beautiful sunset almost every day in the year. So certainly the atmosphere out here is very cool. The sun is not that hot at the moment. It's because the cameraman and myself, we are up front in the front of the boat with the sun pouring down, but there is not much sun to cause any discomfort. As a matter of fact, we are just like the tourists now, enjoying the beautiful blue sea of Anguilla, and looking into a curing, eroded western end of the island, knowing that we cannot go on the southern side based on government restrictions. We can see little Anguilla or Anguillita on the western end of the island, where so many people from West End claim that some years ago that was much closer to the island. But be that as it may, it's now a spectacle on the western end of our island as we sail towards the second western stop. Okay? Okay. So we are looking for the stake to be put down in a while. I can see in the distance Captain Gel sailing towards near towards the land, right down towards the western end of the island. We are seeing a boat coming from the south. God knows where that boat is coming from, because you shouldn't be sailing on the southern side of the island at the moment. But I guess she was comfortable. She is actually comfortably secure in not infringing government security rules. So according to the guys, they have spotted the stick. So we still have some way. We still have some way to go as far as the stake is for the rounding up to the finish. Well, it's almost a foregone conclusion, barring any major irregularity or disaster. We virtually can call it from now, is because you're talking about after lightening up, the distance would have increased by about more than a minute. So it's quite some distance between.
Have you seen the stick?
No.
Beyond you.
Yeah,
Power
the
the boat.
in the distance. Yeah. I think I can.
Yeah, you can see it, right?
Yep.
Yes, she is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Still a little distance from the stake, but Captain Eddie and the crew of the Sonic, they are now enjoying life while racing, because the work has to be done from behind. Mark, there's still some work to be done in terms of getting back ashore, but the Sonic is sailing all alone, actually towards the stake. It's somewhere between running and sailing at the moment, but she is going so quickly towards the west that the boats behind her could certainly be worrying. We just tacked away from some some fish spots at the moment. Okay, so Captain Eddie wants to say, I won the two before, and now I'm going to widen it up today a bit. One of the standouts from this race would be how remarkably the young sailors would have sailed. When you look at Captain Eddie in control in the Sonic, he stands there majestically. You can see him saying by his stance, I am in charge. I know out here, and I am going to run things out here at the moment. So, still looking for some extra speed going towards the west. Where we are now just west of Anguilita, where we are following the Sonic, is because the others are so far behind us. They are doing what they have to do, and certainly Captain Eddie is out front, looking to actually seal off a third win of this very restricted season. So, so we we are at the moment we with maybe a 5 minute gap. If, yeah, yeah. So so we we are doing, as I said, some 5 minutes, which is not it's a big difference, but they have been bigger, and maybe Captain Eddie is thinking, I am going to see what I can do to actually put my name down in terms of distance. But no matter which way it runs, he's being doing a fantastic job here today, getting out front and staying out front. As a matter of fact, leading from the time he went around the stake on the first occasion. And back looking at St. Martin, the lower western end of the island, and then as you get in the middle of the island, you see the mountain range starts to go up, and then as it goes towards the Grand Cause area, continues to go quite high or higher. So, this is where we are, right next to the Sonic, and we, we we are actually enjoying the sailing. And if you do not know what the Sonic looks like, it's a blue, white, and red boat, a black jib, a white mainsail with certainly no markings, and a crew that is carrying a somewhat, I can't say it's pink, but that's orange, blue, and yellow, and yellow vests. So here is the Sonic still trying to get all they could out of it. Up front, we are seeing markings Aurora Anguilla, more than likely that's a sponsor. And looking in the back, we see some fantastic flames that would match with the word Sonic. Supersonic, Sonic Boom, or whatever you want to match the flames with. So, so, oh yes, we right in front of us would be the flag. So if the captain stays around a while, we will be able to give you the distance in terms of time. Is because we are just maybe 100 meters from the from the from the from the flag, and so it will be just free sailing, freeing at the moment. So, so, so the around the stake, okay, around the stake and sailing for home at the moment. Okay, yeah, so I got 14 bells. So we're looking at just after 14 past 5 o'clock as the Sonic turns for home in this August Thursday meets the Anguilla August season boat race. So the Bush Boys are behind. We will actually, we might be able to get the time check is because the captain continues to sail towards the east because we are keeping our eyes on Captain Eddie and the Sonic. There is little need to do that at the moment. We certainly will have to keep our eyes on him to see if he goes down. That's the only reason why we could be keeping our eyes on him at the moment, because certainly he is in a position where it's all clear. It's all clear in terms of winning the August Thursday Anguilla August season boat race. So we are going to try to establish the distance and time between the Captain Eddie and the second boat that will come around the stake in the next several in the next several minutes. So aboard with us today would be Vega, would be Dave from Mangoes, Captain Robert, and Dennis from. We have Frankie, we have Captain Joe, and we have Leonard aboard. So all experienced people and you can hear the comments. So the Bush Boys are coming around. No, the timing is minimal. The distance, surprisingly, is short between shore and here. So here around the snake comes the Bush Boy now, and in a shorter time than was the starting stake coming towards the west. So the distance might have appeared plenty, but certainly I can't say manageable, but it's not a massive blow, not a massive blow as such. So The other three boats are in a line there, some away from us. They're about four, so 3 or 4 minutes away from us, if not a bit less, and then one way into the back. So the cameraman and Mr. Hazy is actually covering the actually physical scenery as far as the race is concerned, and you're hearing all sorts of comments regarding the distance. But one thing for sure is that Captain Eddie is out front, but it's not the broad as one would be tending to hear, because when we reached the shore at the end of the first leg, coming towards the west, we were talking about just a bit over 2.5 minutes, and when the second boat came around the stake here, it was less than 2.5 minutes. So it's not all that much of a difference in second place, but the sure thing at the moment is that the Sonic is actually out front by a considerable distance, and the Bush Boys, they are in second place. So we are looking at the third boat coming around the Wizard. The Wizard is coming around 3 minutes after the first boat in the Sonic, which is somewhat manageable, though you can't catch up. That will be the position at the moment. Out front, the Sonic second place, the Bush Boys third place, the Wizard, and not too far back we are seeing that's not the speed and comfort where the satellite is looking like that's the one in fourth place, and then in the back there, sponsored by Carima and the speed and comfort in fifth place. So two other boats way behind, but fifth place is the speed and comfort, fourth place is the satellite, third place the Wizard, second place the Bush Boys, and up front is Captain Eddie and the Sun. Okay, so that's the position down on the ground by the stake, and certainly the other two boats, they are coming down. So you're going to have to wait for the two rear boats. We are now seven boats, started with 8. The Real Deal broke down once again, and so 5 around the stake for the second time, and they are only 2 to come around at the moment. So a nice taste of crab out on the water today, watching the race, and that's quite nice. While the coronavirus pandemic has restricted us, it has not stopped us. We are certainly in something like this doing quite well. We are saying, while we have respect for coronavirus, we are going to brave living the way we have been living, even not all the freedom and separating the first and the second boat at the moment. But when you put that in terms of distance out at sea, it's quite a lot of distance. It's still quite a spectacle we are looking at. We are looking at here, and it's still quite a lovely day racing. Those who are watching it, I'm so sure they are enjoying it, just as if we would have had the 12, 14 boats in it. And certainly those who are following it on radio, they are enjoying it also, because boat racing is part of our DNA. And if you follow Calypso by DJ Richie, boat racing is certainly the angular thing, and everybody loves boat racing. Once you get into boat racing, you become a boat racing fanatic. Once you come out on the sea and you start learning about it, and you can start calling the winds, you can start making your own predictions. It's fantastic, and this is one of the reasons why I love to see the younger folk come into it, because they are going to bring their own taste to it. The older captains, they are steeped in their ways. They are not bringing anything new to the table. They can be winning, yes, but in terms of transforming the art form, certainly their ways are actually paved in hard cement. They know what racing is mean. They know how to follow it in that manner, and they are prepared to win in that manner. The younger generation, they are going to be looking for new means of attacking the sport. And certainly one could only be happy when you look at the bush wars, when you look at the satellite, when you look at the real deal, the youngsters that are involved, that makes it a joy in saying, look, that in the future our people will be still enjoying some of the things that have come through the ages with a different touch of class. So back to the east we go again, and looking at some thicker clouds hanging over the Meads Bay area, but clouds that we will not trouble as such. We have a lighter taste of the wind down here than on the first round. And while we have the actual racing boats doing their business entertaining us, we also have the pleasure craft out at sea, and they are looking at the race. People spent quite a bit in terms of coming out and the boat racing, and we are going towards the speed comfort, is because there have been some beckoning for no, he's all right. He is all right. It was believed that couple of problems, it seemed like, on the speed and comfort. While we are saying that they should be all right, they have some problems, and now we do not see the person who's responsible for the boats out on the sea. That's a bit unfortunate. Here is a boat in trouble, and we cannot see the person who's looking over the supervision of the race. That is something certainly the boat racing committee will have to correct. If they do not correct that, they are taking the lives of people's children and servants. We are trying to find a boat that is the speed and comfort would have developed some trouble. So Captain Charles and the Anguilla Border Rescue Service boat, we've managed to come in contact with them, and they are now going to go to give some help. But certainly the person who actually is looking at the race is nowhere to provide the necessary help, and certainly that is irresponsible behavior. We cannot have that in our sport at the moment. Okay, the two boats still go around the snake, and the boat that is supervising the race is way up front. That is unfortunate. But these people will get the necessary assistance because Captain Charles and the Border Service accepted our plea for help, and they are going to give some help. But we are having a situation here where, despite how well the Bush boys say, the Wizard looks like it is coming into the happenings again. The Bush boys coming towards the north, the Wizard coming towards the northeast, and the Bush boys not sailing as much as the Wizard at the moment. And out front we are having the south. So here again, the Bush boys have started again, and they are really going up. Has done recently. But he won't be more than 3 minutes. Okay, so oh boy, here are the Bush boys going towards the northeast, and right up on the side you have about 8 guys right up on the side, and so she's cocking up going towards the northeast. Bows almost taking in waters, and actually trying to outdo the Wizard, and not very conducive for doing commentary here, because you're hearing all sorts of voices breaking through. Whoa. So you have a crop of Blowing Point guys aboard this boat, and you know they are cheering the Bush boys on at the moment. See, so also Bush Boy, the former NWO. So DJ Richard Bear, I know that you are one of the fanatics for the NWO. NWO, now known as the Bush Boys, young crew, and they're doing exceedingly well. One would want to argue that she is sailing quite a bit, but she's not holding the wind. So but actually, if you look at the ceiling, if you look at the ceiling, the Sonic is actually going in the same direction as the Bush Boys. So 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 you are hearing the comments here aboard the boat by the people who are joyriding, and what they're saying makes good sense. You put a person to supervise a race, you put a person to set the standards out here, a person who is judging the race, and the person is nowhere to be found. I mean, you cannot run boat racing properly. You cannot run a sport properly on that basis. And the whole thing of conflict of interest, which is so prominent in our society. You cannot be the person who is actually dictating the race, and you are the person who are giving instructions to boats within the race regarding sailing. That is unacceptable, and we find that is actually going through a lot of our sporting activities on Anguilla, which means that there is a lot of work to be done. And the quicker we do the work, that type of work, the better. Wherever one can root out conflict of interest in anything, I think it's a betterment for society. So Captain Eddie now is actually he's opened up Crocus Bay already, and if we don't be careful, he might well open up sandy ground and then come straight across to the finishing point. So you are getting a picturesque view of the western Anguilla and the effect of storm surge. Terrible erosion on the western. So we are waiting to see what happens. The Bush Boys, they have come back inside, and that will give the Wizard a little chance to sneak up. And let's see how that works. There are guys with new ideas. They know the reason for it. Let's see how it works out. It's because at the end of the day, the solution is what the end result, the outcome is what's important. Sometimes you'll be surprised we do irregular things and we get results that the natural mind would have not thought about. So the Bush Boys going back into the land at the moment, and the Wizard is just behind them, coming towards the northeast. Captain Eddie is opened up Crocus Bay already for sure, and he will be probably opening up more of the southern end. And we are looking up towards the west end, where you have right on the western tip those fantastic villas, and then the set of lower restaurants, mangoes, and the others, and then we go towards the Four Seasons, the old Viceroy, and then up further we will have the Straw Hats, also the Ocean Echoes. You will have the others just east of it there, and then you go into the other hotels that stretch right across to Malahana. So clouds still saying the same over the as far as the blizzard is concerned. So Captain Eddie continues to sail towards the northeast. If we look over the Crocus Bay area, there's a haze that's over that area. It cannot be rain. I wish it would be rain, but my strong inner person tells me that it's not rain. It's simply haze. Down on this end of the island, the sun is shining brightly, but it's a cool day with a very nice southeasterly breeze blowing across our faces, and we are absorbing it, the fresh, beautiful air. As a matter of fact, free of coronavirus out here. I sincerely hope that all our people on board the boat are fully vaccinated, is because we are not wearing any masks, and one of the things that we have to be very careful of, we cannot be too certain. It's only one mishap and then all hell break loose. And an island of over 15,000 people, we do not want that to happen. Certainly when things went bad in Tortola Bay, you were talking about a 30 to 32,000 population, and the crying started, and you looked at 1,600 cases beyond that from one spike. That's a bit unfortunate. I mean, we had some misfortune. We are 6 to 7 so we managed to as in past years, but we all throughout the world being controlled by this monster called the coronavirus pandemic COVID-19. All sorts of variants coming in, all sorts of things happening. We are burdened with sickness, we are burdened with deaths, stress on our health services, and in many cases we have irresponsible behavior by a lot of the citizens of the world. Right here in Anguilla, even though we do not have the numbers, we have the very irresponsible behavior also. Behavior that does not make any sense. Behavior that does not say we care about our society, that we care about our friends, we care about our family, our children. So we and not only we are the responsible people, have to get their act, going to have to get their act right. But nevertheless, we've managed to have had some functions eyes wide shut last night. Let's hope everything went well and we don't see any negative resultant effect. And certainly it had to be good based on some of the comments you hear with some people so people who attended said that it was good. So here is Captain Eddie going back to the land at the moment. So certainly. Certainly here is Captain Eddie right into the shore, and certainly he is not only seeing the promised land, he is virtually having hope of touching the promised land. He's going right into the shore. Right into the shore. This is memory of the soccer boy going right into the shore. We're hearing the horns of the so certainly we want to make sure we keep the national sport going, and there have been 3 days of boat racing thus far, and to be completed on Sunday with the final day of the August boat racing season. So the fun time following the Sonic ashore. So it's all but over at the moment. Up past Ocean Echo, up past the Straw Hat Restaurant, and up past the hotel just up above the other hotels there, and we are across to the finishing point at Caravelle. So we have a change virtually in the race at the moment. The Bush Boys drag into the north, and the boat coming from the west. It looked by the wizard has crossed in significantly. So second place seemed to have changed. So the wizard are in. So we we certainly are now looking at the end of the race, and but it's the we are going to make a guess from this distance is because the boat that is carrying the commentary crew we are away from the finish, which is not generally accepted manner. You should cover the finish in terms of the first boat, but it would appear from here that the Sonic we are not going to be able to assess the race properly because we do not know when this boat finished. Okay. Okay, so let me have a guess. Okay, I'm staying up on the side to see if I can make a judgment. So so here here. So the Sonic is now about to turn to come to the final marker. We're going to try our best to see if we can see when the finish really takes place. But the concentration now is on the second and third. You can't do it. We should have gone up by the stake line. Yeah. Okay, so here goes the Sonic. Still a little way from the finish, but certainly that could be assured that the Sonic will be the winner of the Maids Bay August Thursday race. The Wizard now in second place has captured several. So that's the position here. We are still we are still we are still we we are still we are still waiting to call the finish. So the Wizard now in the Ocean Echo area. They are now sailing up. Race not finished, but it's certainly over. So coming up past us now will be the Bush Boys. So they are now in the third place. So the Bush Boys now heading towards the finish line. There'll be a close knock between. So so
put him back in the show. Exactly.
So the satellite drew for the Bush Boys. Quite a bit of showmanship there. One tougher captain forced him hardly and forced him back in the show. But the satellite was quite kind on that occasion. And actually, so that's right. Let's see. We could see the stick. Okay, this. So we are looking at the end of the race in a distance. We can see the Sonic going towards this thing. And so okay, this Sonic has gone through at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, the Sonic has gone through. So the August Thursday race won by the Sonic at 6 o'clock at Meads Bay. So and now we have the Wizard, and the Wizard more than likely will be in second place, and in third place the fight is on for this between the Satellite and the Bush Boys, but the Satellite is being favored coming on the Bush Boys guilty of probably making an ill-advised tack. Hey! Oh, they're guilty of making an ill-advised tack. Now could very well drop from second to fourth. The Satellite is certainly outsailing him at the moment on the inner end, and there is the Wizard actually approaching the finish line, still a little away from the finish line. So far it's 1.5 minutes. 1.5 minutes away from the winning boat thus far. The Satellite and the Bush Boys in the ding dong battle, and the Satellite certainly will actually be Hunter. He ain't even beaten the Wizard by 3 minutes. So we're in a position to make another call. Unless something goes wrong, it's the Wizard that's going to be second on her home ground for August Thursday, and the Satellite and the Bush Boys are fighting it out, and the Satellite certainly seems like it's going to end up in third place. The Bush Boys fourth. We'll just have to. We'll just have to await the outcome. We have to wait the outcome. Okay, here goes the. Okay, so there goes the Wizard. So everybody is now admiring the fight between Bush Boys. So yeah, you're hearing the experts in here actually. So they are now making their predictions as to the third and fourth place. So
he can't go up. He can't go up. He can't go up. Right, push him off. Right, now you got him. Now you go up now. Now you go up now. Stay right there. Keep him there. He can't come up on you now. He can't come up on you now. You go inside now. Go inside now. He can't.
Now, push it on now.
Right.
Push it on now.
All right.
That's it.
So, August
That's sweet.
Thursday race at West End, the Satellite in third place and the Bush Boys in fourth place.
Why they kept another satellite name? What your name is? Pastor?
So,
How you feel good now? He came up
Sonic
nothing else.
first place, second place the Wizard, third place the Satellite, fourth place the Bush Boys, and the fifth place will be the Speed and the Comfort. So
All right.
that's it for a fantastic day of racing at Meads Bay, and certainly the race turned out to be enjoyable in the end, and so that brings us to the end of racing day number 3 at Meads Bay. Certainly hope that you've enjoyed the coverage. We at sea would have enjoyed the racing. We have enjoyed working for you. A fantastic day out here, following in all the traditions of the good old Meads Bay boat racing, Anguilla, August, Thursday. So we appreciated the day out at sea. The weather has been kind to us. The racing has been fantastic, and long live Anguilla boat racing. But the distance was a thing, you know. She beat the fourth boat by 5 minutes, and the second boat by about 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
Can't get to the minions now. I bet the whole engine from Bradman boat. That's the whole day. You have to move the whole house. The whole structure to get to the engine. Then what's built? Like with engine.
Something other happened to me a little after.
Yeah,